Now it's time to check in on how Trump's America is faring in America's Renaissance. Joining us now from New York City is Ami Horowitz. Ami, great to see you as always. Listen, I wanted to ask you about the tariffs and the knock-on effect. Trump's popularity within the US has skyrocketed since he said that the tariffs will mean substantial tax cuts. What's your take on that?
Yeah, look, I don't know if I'm not sure I'm seeing that. Look, I know he initially said, and this is part of the problem with Trump, at least the problem I have with Trump when it comes to tariffs, is that he was saying over and over that tariffs are in and of themselves a good, right? He kept pointing out that we can eliminate the income tax if we just have high enough tariffs like we did in the early part of the 20th century and the later part of the 19th century. Just not true. It's not economically true. We didn't have income taxes because the U.S. still had a tremendous amount of land that it was selling to private people. And that's what kept America afloat. It wasn't the tariffs. Tariffs actually hurt the American economy. No, I don't believe that. And the polling isn't showing that. This is him just speaking extemporaneously without any kind of economic backing whatsoever. The polls are showing actually something quite different. The polls are showing that in terms of he's at 40% overall, which is a low for him. And frankly, people are looking at the economy and they're not liking what they're seeing. And right now, he's below water. The majority of people are saying that these tariffs are going to increase prices. That's what they believe, and they're right. And they believe that in terms of the economy, he's underwater. He's not handling it right.
Well, that's interesting because I always say let's judge Trump at the end of the day when he's achieved what he intends to achieve. Obviously, the tariffs is a moving feast. We've seen changes on what may or may not happen with China, and obviously it's all tied in as well with the threats of how to, disengage more from China. But I want to ask you about, there's been a lot of Trump derangement syndrome over at The View. This is this hilarious TV show with Whoopi Goldberg, where she kind of got very agitated over anything Trump, but in particular this week it was Trump offering to pay a baby bonus, so $5,000 for people to have a baby. Now, we did this in Australia, actually, so this is not a novel idea under Peter Costello. But have a listen, have a look at Whoopi Goldberg, not clearly unhappy about the idea.
They don't know how women's bodies work, and they don't know what it costs to raise a child or just have a child. And $5,000? I don't know what $5,000 is supposed to do. And it's not even $5,000 because you have to cut it in half because you got to pay taxes on it. Yeah. So they're offering you $2,500 to have a baby. Now, don't forget about all the stuff they've cut.
So, Ami, have people young couples and others got excited about this idea, or are you saying that it's not cutting through?
No, they should be excited about it. First of all, she's so elitist, okay? It's so elitist. First of all, the economic rates, she pays 50% because she's the top tax bracket. Most Americans do not pay 50% of their taxes, Whoopi, just so you know, okay? Second of all, for her to poo-poo $5,000, for her, when she's going to spend it all on a Bugaboo stroller for $5,000, it doesn't mean much. But for most Americans, that goes pretty far in terms of what you're going to spend on food and on other expenses for the baby. That goes quite a long way. So it's such a real elitist attitude by her. But the fact that she brought in race later on was it was so naked and raw and so disgusting and ugly.
Ami Horowitz, always great to chat to you, and thanks so much for joining us on America's Renaissance.